Hello, Amanda Newworth here for the weekly tarot. I'm going to do Australia first. Already shuffled for you. What do you need to know? Ooh, okay. What do we need to know? What is going on in Australia? Well, that's pretty amazing. Something very new and magical is being cooked up spiritually. Well, I quite like that. What do you think? Is that a good one? Oh, this is very interesting. So this is alchemy, basically. So something else is being mixed up. So there's something else in the mix. There is magic going on, and there's a high order as well. High order. So let's have a look at what else they've got to say. Australia, there's a bit of peace going on. Okay, this is lovely. So there's a lot of mental peace going on in Australia. There's a bit of a truce going on with all of the mental angst that everybody's been having. And I'd say everyone's getting a little bit more of an equilibrium in their emotions, etc. And that's really lovely. Okay, what else have we got here? So all that indolence, all that yucky stuff. Okay. Really, really exciting. This is basically saying all that yucky stuff, all that indolence, all of that wasteland, all of that taking, so that everything turns into this horrible, unkept situation that we've been in. It's been, there's a lot of energy's gone into something, there's a lot of energy gone into it, and it looks like the battle is over. The battle is actually over. Um, this is very, very good. And let's see what's coming up. Okay, all the cruelty, all that cruelty is now really, there's a lot coming up for us. Really good stuff, really nice. I'll just get these other ones out. Okay, so, all right. So there's been, it's nearly at the end, all the cruelty, all of that mental cruelty that's going on. It's just about at the end. We've also, this deep spiritual energy that is working basically behind the scenes is really happy with the job. They're really happy with the job. And when we come to this one over here, so this is the science of thought. Like we all understand, we create our own reality through our thought. That thought is substance, etc. This card here is that works. The Great Reset, the whole sort of structure that the dark forces were actually creating. But what we've got is this really, really incredible thought structure. With this, there's this force again. There's this force again that is very powerful, and it has seemingly outdone the works. They know exactly what all of the tactics and what was going to be happening. They knew exactly what it was, and there's somebody, or a great power overseeing everything. So I would say we're in for some not too long, because these are very different to what we've had. Okay, I'll come back in a moment with for Australians. Okay, so here's for Australians. All right. Okay, here we go, my fellow Aussies. Okay, got to get in charge of your own power. There are some secret energies that you have to yield out. Okay, and there's sorrow. So there's a bit of a grieving process going on. For Australians, there's some pretty sad things going on. It's true, isn't it? If we think about Victoria, and I don't know if you lovely people have heard about Dan Andrews being charged for rape. I don't know if you've heard that, but anyway, I'll leave a link for my Telegram underneath this, and you can. I popped it up. I think it was yesterday. I can't remember, and you'll find the stuff on Dan Andrews. So it's really important that we get over and get our energy all sorted out, get over all of our sorrows, and find those special parts of ourselves that we have that are just innate, that perhaps we've never been able to express. So, as an Australian, we need to get over a little bit of stuff. Definitely. I'll just move this in. Okay, so we've got oppression there, which is when the powers that be stop our energy from flowing. Opportunities. And here we've got this powerful force again. So because it's to do with Australians, if we can get into our really fabulous energy, our sovereignty is what they call it dominion, then we can actually throw off. We have new opportunities coming up. We can throw off the oppression when we sit in our incredible power. Okay, we've got to sit in our power. All right, what else have we got? Okay, so those parts of us that have been ruined over this extensive period of time, or that feeling of ruin, there's actually, to stay in that, there's going to be a bit of strife. You're not going to get your energy, but if you can actually get that dominion over yourself, get over all the sorrow, get over the oppression, get over the ruin, we've got incredible energy allowed. We've got to release our energy. We've got to stand in our sovereignty. That's what I keep getting, stand in our sovereignty. You know, things aren't going that well at the moment for a lot of people, and it's time we all stood up. Just in our energies enough, you know. What's coming up? Interference. Okay. Right, so what they're telling me here is that there's going to be a lot of interference to tell us, that, you know, that everything's really bad, and, you know, and that we don't even know what we need, etc. They're going to try and come over the top. But if we sit in that beautiful, pure, knowing what's been hidden, and parts of ourselves that have been hidden, but we're standing in our power, we can actually overcome a lot of this. Know that there's going to be some interference coming up, but with all of the energies that are around, we've got a really good chance of it going really well for us. So we've got a lot of gain in the sense that new directions in the way you think, and new opportunities for wealth and earthly things. Okay, so there's some big shifty going on. There's something really changing, really, really changing. So we've got to know that we've got to, you know, the power of the people, where we go one, we go all of that type of thing. That energy is just so important to hold at the moment. And I can see that what it is holding how you want the earth to be, holding that and resonating it. Okay, I'll move on to the next reading. Alrighty, so we're going to draw for New Zealand. Let's see what New Zealand has going on. Okay, what's that got to do with? Okay, so there's a lot of earthly completions going on, a lot of earth stuff. Okay, I'm seeing underground stuff. There is a totally different direction going on. It's a totally different direction that's happening. And there's a whole lot of battle going on in the mental sphere. There's a lot of battle going on. It's really interesting. Let's see what else they've got. Okay, it's going really well. Great opportunities. Okay, so the successes over all the ruin that they were doing on the mental level. It's all coming, it's all changing. Wow, again, this is all another mental battle. So this has got to do with, you could say, all the programming, this one here. And this is personal mental angst and battles. There's a lot of change coming. Oh, wow, and things are going to flow completely differently. All right, so we've got completely different direction going. Hold that thought, won't you? A lot of mental battles, really, where people have been really captured in bubbles of thought in the torture. Yeah, but there's a success over that ruin and more opportunity coming up. There's that a lot of people having a bit of a mental battle. There's a lot of change going on, and it's all for the best, all for a nice emotional flow coming up. It's going to appear like it's all oppression, but there's actually some things going on. Yeah, there's some finishing up of things to really stringent, harsh oppression is going to be appearing, but there is a release. There's something else behind it. There is something different behind it that we can't really see. Okay. So a lot of new, yeah, definitely. Okay. So there's some new and different things coming up completely. This is the how we create. We have that idea before, that feeling or whatever, that we go on that quest. So it's all about changing that absolutely yucky energy that's been around Australia and New Zealand. Yep. Okay, so there's some things going on. It's just you can't see them. All right, I'll just do a reading for New Zealanders. Okay, New Zealanders. Okay. So, feeling pretty neglected, feeling like there are things that needed to be tended to that haven't been tended to. There's a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't been coming to you. Okay, it's been siphoned off somewhere else. And it's changing. It's changing for a more flowing emotional life, that things are going to come, things are going to flow, things are about to start flowing. Things in the sense of emotions, and I see that card as like the dark card, the Cabal. It's changing. It's changing. What they've withheld is going to flow. And a lot of alchemy coming up. A lot of change. Oh, really. Yeah. Okay, so there's that science. There's a very articulated plan, and it's done with the art of alchemy, which is turning dark to light, basically. And it's all got to do with all of that demon spawn that's there. Okay, so you lovies need to find that way of moving yourself from feeling that indolent, like going without, that life's not fair, to knowing that you can change it and you can feel that luxury. If you can just switch yourself over and feel the luxury of things and feel how good it is to move things through the processes, to transmute them, and do it with a discipline to overcome those dark forces, everything to do with everything dark. Our judicial system, our politicians, etc., with the plan that's behind it. Need to find and dig deep, loves. Need to dig deep. Okay. Okay, so if you don't lift that energy up, it's going to get defeat. You're going to defeat. What's going to defeat you is all of the things that they have planted in the thoughts. Yeah. So your sadness, and then that feeling of defeat. So you're going to have a feeling of defeat before all of a sudden all this energy just rises. It just rises really high. Yeah. Massive flush of energy. Okay, again, taking dominion, control, sovereignty over yourself, those hidden parts of self, and it's to overcome that worry. Okay, overcome all the worry that's in your world. Yep. All right. Well, this is one of the dark forces initiations to cut the head off somebody, but it's also the mental thought of it not having the power over you, not letting it have the power over you. This is also the card that is the horrendous symbology of the darkness as well. But remember that they have taken over our natural essences and they have manipulated and held it from us. So if we can regain our own inner spirituality and our own connection, we can override them. There's more of us. And rise. It's all about rising out of it. See these two? Rising out. Lots of energy, generating enough energy to raise and get yourselves out of it. All right, well, I'm going to pack these ones up, but I thought I'd do just a reading for Victoria. So we'll be back in a moment. All right, so we're just going to do Victoria. What's some truth about Victoria that we need to hear? Okay. There's the failure card. Okay. Right, that's so interesting. All right, what have we got here? So we've got failure. Okay, so this is that earthly level where there's a massive fail going on. Everyone's hiding. Yeah, as we know, there's a lockdown there. Everyone's, there's a great plan going on though. This is looking over the lands and trying to figure out what to do. Not listening to this devil here. But there's something going on. We could also take it as there's wisdom and planning going on in Victoria. We could take it that way. They look it to me. Let's see how the other cards come through. What other energies are around? Ooh. So a truce is going on at the moment. There is a truce going on. There's something in a holding pattern. That's what it feels like, a holding pattern. I think that's something that's terribly failing down there. There is some wisdom behind it. There is people in the retreat where they're at home, but there's a great plan and it's actually going to be implemented. It's going to be implemented and rolled out. I think everyone needs to have a look at the heads that are talking and doing all the lockdown. Let's look at their background. Look at their background. You know, is anything dodgy going on? All right, so Victoria. We've got change. Let's see that whole energy, that indolence, that totally withheld energy is going through a completely different cycle. Completely. It's something new is coming up. It's absolutely not going ahead. It's a big fail. Everything they do is futile. Everything they're doing is futile. In fact, they have to seemingly now make a truce, figure out that whatever they're trying to do is futile. Because there's something else going on being hatched. So it's not working. It's just not working. They can go on as much as possible, but it's really not convincing people. Okay, so a really deep spiritual energy is bringing change. And there's a little bit of worry on the surface, but that's just going to come up. Not quite sure which way it's going to go. Don't quite know who to trust either. Trusting yourself is the biggest and bestest. So we've got a lot of failure. The plan that they're doing, that whole horrendous stuff that is going on, is not going very well for them. I would say, I'll tell you, very interesting. We're going to actually do it for Victorians directly as well. And while I'm shuffling, I'm just going to talk. But I found it really interesting. I was talking to a friend about the earthquake. They lived in the area where that earthquake in Victoria was last week. And the commentary went like this. Found out that the lockdown happened, was on, and 1 minute later that earthquake happened in Victoria, rural Victoria. So with the decode work that I've done, I know that there's a two-sided situation going on. You've got all of the assholes on the surface just continuing this ploy of craziness, whether it's to wake people up or whether it's to roll in the Great Reset and the New World Order. But there seems to be this other side, which is underground work that's going on under terror to clean everything up. And I found it interesting that it was only 1 minute after the announcement. So that was weird. And then the fact that Dan Andrews is actually on rape charges of a minor, not quite minor, 17-year-old, which has got nothing to do with him having a broken back. So you should all get into that. So let's have a look. This is for Victorians yourselves. Okay, just what energies you can help yourself with. Okay, got to get really in charge of your direction. In charge of your direction. Yep, because you've got devils around. It will get you out of it into a way more flowing life. So it's about really, I think this is for all Australians, because we're watching what's going on down there for you, and it's just, I'm just disgusted with the arrests, etc. Absolutely disgusted. So yeah, you've got a lot of that disgusting demon work going on down there. It was a huge Melbourne itself underneath is a huge transport centre. Okay, so you've got the ability to grab those great big dreams and bring them down. Those great big waves that you really turn them into crystallized thought and bring that tranquility in, and you're going to have great fortune. You're going to have great things, also things coming to an end. Okay? But you can't let yourself get locked down again. I think that's what it's sort of about. Okay, so getting that personal strength, that inner wisdom, really deep wisdom, and you can bust open that oppression, okay? Busting it open. So having a great deal of strength too with those things that are hidden, that have been oppressing, have a lot of strength in it. Know your truth. Know your truth. And a little bit of upset coming. Another really more like commanding your own power over all of the sorrow and sadness, patience. It's been a very sad time, very difficult time. It has been, but a little bit longer, and if you stand in your power, the pain and the angst. So this is the ankh, and it is what angst is. It's all about it. You've been placed in that angst, yeah? And it's brought a lot of sorrow and a whole lot of trouble. So you're just going to have to deal with a little bit of that kind of work on the inner side of yourselves and start coming out. Start participating. Okay? Because if you can get your energy to fill your cups and you come out a little bit and you stand in all your power, then you're going to all get victory. You're all going to get victory. All of you are going to have victory. All of us in Australia. And I'm going to send Victoria the most massive amount of beautiful, pure energy of love and truth, that it surrounds, it goes deep down under the earth, and it totally surrounds and supports absolutely everybody to stand in their truth, be proud of who you are. We're fellow humans. We love you everywhere we are. We're sending you so much beautiful energy for this whole lockdown and for the truth to come through. The truth. All right? And lots of love. And I'll pop my Telegram account down underneath, and I'll see you next week. Lots of love to you all. Hugs to everyone.